So I'm having some issues with this car running a little bit too hot. It's at about 110 degrees, sitting in traffic and just lightly cruising. What I've noticed happens is the temperature drops back to about 80 degrees when I punch the throttle. Can't figure out why this is. I can't bleed it. I've bled it so many times, it doesn't work. It's pretty common on these K series that they overheat due to just air trapped in the system. Now, I'm thinking the thermostat is the culprit because I'm getting a cold lower hose and my heater is not working. So what I'm going to do is pull the thermostat out, and I'm probably going to chuck 1 or 2 holes in it to allow water to flow through here, and air to not get trapped behind here, which is, I've heard what happens. So those 2 holes are going to allow the water and the air to run straight through the thermostat when it's cold, into the bottom hose, into the radiator, through the system, and hopefully bleed itself. Hopefully it'll actually cool and open the thermostat when it needs to. So I'm going to pull the thermostat off, and that's what I'm going to try. Alright, so here's the thermostat housing. Pretty sure it's just an eBay one. Thermostat sits in there, like that, with a C-clip holding in. Pull the C-clip out, thermostat should pop off. We look right here, here's the hole in which coolant will flow through when it's cold. What I'm going to do right now is add 1 hole there and 1 hole there, and this should hopefully allow more coolant to flow through and air to not get trapped in this housing, which will then hopefully allow it to open properly when it's supposed to open, and stop this kind of overheating issue that I've been having. Because I think this thing has been causing overheating since I got the car. Not heaps overheating, just about 110 degrees Celsius. It's not good. I'm hoping I haven't warped ahead driving it like this, because one thing I did check, and I haven't before, is at 110 degrees coolant temp, on the dash, the needle on the dash was only about half, whereas on the laptop it says 110. So it doesn't read it's overheating on the dash, but 110 is definitely hotter than you want to run on your coolant temp. So I'm going to drill some holes in this and put it back in and see if I can fix it up. So there you go. I've drilled the 3 holes in it. That's what it looks like. Hoping this will fix my problem. Let's put it back together now. Also, you're going to make sure these holes are at the top of the coolant housing. This way, air can escape out the top, like that. Maybe at the bottom actually. No, we're going to spin it around. We're going to go at the bottom this time. See if it allows water to run through the bottom housing here. Try that. Alright, so I've got the thermostat back in. Now what I'm going to do, jack the front of the car up from this side, which will help with the bleeding process when we get around to that. I'm going to jack it up, start filling it up with coolant, put my phone on, and then I'm going to try and bleed this thing and see if it'll actually open and work.
Now, one of the downsides I actually need to mention with doing this mod is that your car is going to take longer to warm up in both summer and winter. Now, I'm yet to test it in winter. It may or may not even warm up to operating temp, but it's something you have to consider when drilling holes, that it'll take longer to get up to operating temperature.
So I believe we're ready to start the car up and start trying to bleed the system. Got coolant in it, it's filled up all the way. We're going to get some spare coolant to dump in this when it bleeds through, and we're just going to let it go through a couple of heat cycles, I believe, and try and bleed this thing and see if this lower hose will actually get hot, and that means the thermostat's opening. If that lower hose is also hot, it means my heater will work. So that's also what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the heater on in the car on full blast and try and bleed all the coolant through the system. Let's get to it. tools. Don't leave tools in the engine bay. Watch this. Fill that up when I'm recording. And we're going to pump that up in and check the temps as well. Well, seems to be working. Bottom hose is hot. Getting nice and warm. Which is good. I'm going to have to wait for my laptop to charge to check the actual cooling temps because I'm not too sure the dash works completely right. I'm going to turn it off and wait for my laptop to charge. So I think we managed to fix the problem. It's sitting at 84 degrees now, just cruising, which I think is about right. I have to do a little bit of research on what the figures actually need to be, but it seems to be fine now. I'm going to do a little bit more testing, a little bit more driving and see if it's all good. So then I'll update you. So just got home, sitting here idling. We're at about 94 degrees Celsius with the fan on, which is, I'm not too sure if that's the number I'm looking for. I probably want it to be a little bit cooler, but then again, you're looking at the intake temps here, that might be a reason why, because my intake on this car is just in such a bad spot. So I do a little bit more research, and I think that has fixed the problem though. So if any of you guys are having coolant temp problems with the K series, I'd highly recommend trying out drilling holes in the thermostat or potentially getting a cooler opening thermostat. I haven't tried that. This is the cheapest option that I found to do, and I think it's easy and cheap to do. It seems to have helped with the problem. It still is sitting about 94 degrees with the fan on. It's probably 30 degrees in the sun right now, but I've also got 55 degree intake temp, so that might be contributing to why it's running hotter. I will probably leave it for now. I'm going to drive it around, go do a little bit of research on what people typically run on K series, and then I might take it back out and drill 1 or 2 extra holes just to get the coolant flowing through more. But then again, that might also not be the issue at all. I might need a better fan on the front or a full-size radiator. Yet to figure that out. Hopefully this has fixed all my problems with the cooling. I'm definitely going to be taking this thing back to the drag strip soon and hoping to crack in the mid to high 13s with a better cooling, and hopefully I'll be able to get faster time than I did last time, because I have a suspicion that it was running very hot in the pits when I was lining up for to race, and that depending on what the tune is set up like, both intake temps and coolant temps can pull timing in the map, which will give less power. So yeah, we're gonna see how we go. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully it was a good kind of tutorial on what you can do to try and fix your overheating issues on the K series, because I do believe it's a pretty common issue and there's not a lot of videos or help online, because there's so many different things that can happen, but this is just one of the fixes that could potentially be the reason yours is overheating. So yeah, stay tuned for more Honda content anyway. This shifter I bought off AliExpress, but I've never had the right adapter for it, for the shifter, until now, and every time I've driven it, it kind of just spins like this. So, the new shifter adapter, hopefully it fits. This will lock off the shifter linkage. The shifter. And it should actually be comfortable to drive for once.